We're gonna try something different today, guys. Give me a minute. I honestly don't know how to do time-lapse on my phone, but we're gonna try something different today, okay? So you can zoom in, zoom out. And this is what I'm working on today. So, I don't know how to do time-lapse yet. I don't know how to edit it. But we're going to do this puzzle and we're going to try it out, okay? I know I can't talk very well. I meant we're going to do this puzzle today. And we're going to test the waters out with this iPhone because they said all you need is an iPhone. And I have the newest iPhone out there so far. No, it's not the 17, but this is a puzzle I'm working on. Give me a minute. This one. Oh, sorry. Sideways, but this is pretty cool. I like this. So, I've been working on it for a while. I know I do not use the boxes. You can tell it's over there. So, I do puzzles on my channel. So, today's Mental Health Awareness Day. And in my town, I'm the one who came up with the declaration for that. But I just wanted to get on here. I'm not doing a live stream today. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to do this at my own record. So, we're going to do some research on it. Okay? And it might help you guys understand more about it. And then we're going to talk about coping skills, about mental health. Everybody's got mental illness. It's just people don't want to recognize it. So, give me a second. Let me load this up. Hold on just 1 second. Alright, guys. So, I found some pretty cool stuff about mental illness. So, while we're doing my puzzles, we're going to look at this and we're going to do this as we're probably working on a puzzle. So, what's the most crippling mental illness? We all know signal mental illness is universally considered the most crippling. Schizophrenia and personality disorders are often cited as some of the most disabling mental health conditions. By a study by the Queensland Brain Institute found these two groups to be associated with the highest level of disability. Other conditions like mood disorders, including depression, anxiety disorders, and even substance use disorders can also significantly impact daily life and function. Schizophrenia. Characterized by delusions, hallucinations, and other cognitive difficulties, schizophrenia can make it challenging to distinguish reality from fantasy, manage emotions, and relate to others. It can lead to significant impairments in work, social life, and self-care. So, you can have schizophrenia. It's when you're seeing things and hearing things, that's schizophrenia. Personality disorders. These disorders are characterized by enduring patterns of inner experience and behavior that deviate from cultural expectations. They can cause difficulties in interpersonal relationships, emotion regulation, and impulse control. Mood disorders. Studies suggest that mood disorders, particularly depression, are associated with significant functional impairment and disability. Severe depression can impact daily activities, relationships, and overall well-being. Substance abuse. Oh, okay, we're not on that yet. Okay, so anxiety disorders, which is what I have. Conditions like panic disorder, social phobia, and obsessive compulsive disorder can significantly impact daily life, leading to avoidance behaviors, self-isolation, and difficulties in various areas of function. Substance use disorders. Substance abuse can lead to a range of negative consequences, including physical health problems, relationship difficulties, and impaired cognitive function. It's important to remember that the impact of mental illness can vary significantly from person to person, and that many factors beyond the diagnosis itself contribute to the level of disability experienced. While some individuals may experience mild symptoms and maintain a relatively high level of functioning, others may face significant changes in life. Think about that for a minute, okay? So, there's a lot of people that suffer with disability, with mental illness, okay? And so now we're going to go to famous people with mental illness. So, I'm looking this up on Google, so you can feel free to see. I'm checking it out. Okay, so the first one that comes to mind is Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga has PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress syndrome. The Grammy winner, successful in both music and acting, Gaga openly confessed that she has mental illness. Okay, Dwayne Johnson, he has, depression. Okay, what's her name? Carrie Fisher has bipolar, and she has drug addiction. So, you see, Demi Lovato has bipolar disorder. Kristen Bell has, okay, I'll skip to hit myself. Kristen Bell has anxiety and depression. Mariah Carey, who I listen to a lot, which I like her music, by the way, has, it doesn't say what she has, but it is, says she has mental illness. So, you know, the thing about it is, guys, that Selena Gomez, Adele, Brad Pitt, Demi Lovato, John Hamm, Leo Dunham, Miley Cyrus, Ryan Reynolds, I mean, all these people that, you know, Angelina Jolie, the most common ones, they have mental illness, and Leonardo DiCaprio. So you see, everybody has it, even the music stars and actors, and they have mental illness too. So why are we so stressed out about mental illness? Okay, hang on. So what makes people not want to openly admit that they have mental illness? Well, let me give you this. Everybody doesn't want to be judged. I don't really want it. Wow. But that was close, wasn't it? Okay, so not everybody understands mental health at all. Okay, so think about this. Would you want somebody to know that you're mentally ill? Oh, I see they went up there. Okay, so would you like to, I mean, I know people don't want to get help when they're mentally ill because they're afraid that they'll be treated differently. And they will, like for instance, they will sit there and they will not admit it because they don't want to be laughed at, they don't want to be made fun of, they don't want to be told they're paranoid, you know, things like that, okay? And so when somebody doesn't want to get help, they just don't want to be dealing with the criticism, because I know people, they judge other people a lot in this world, and a lot of people with mental illness doesn't want to get the help they need because other people treat them like, oh, it's nothing, go away. You know what I'm saying about that? So a lot of people don't want to admit that they need help because of that, okay? And it's all about people being stigmatized. Stigma is the biggest issue when it comes to mental illness, and people are not educated enough about it. They think that people like us who are mentally ill, we're cray-cray. You know, we're crazy, and we're not, okay? A lot of people that suffer with mental illness have been abused severely, such as myself as a child, or by exes, which I have a great man now who I love dearly, and they have that. It's not their fault, and we get blamed for it. like, oh, it's your fault, or you're perfectly normal, or you're perfectly fine, there's nothing wrong with you, stop worrying, stop stressing. Well, as it may seem that you see it on the inside, but people see you on the outside. One day you're happy-go-lucky, and the next day you're depressed. And you know, that's common for people. Just because you are okay one day and not okay the next doesn't mean you're going to be okay all the time. I've struggled with mental illness. I know many people in my life have struggled with mental illness, and it's a hard thing to battle. Okay, sometimes there's people out there that don't really understand, and they ask a lot of questions about it, and you know, it's just really hard to understand what it really is. So if people were more educated about mental health, people would be more understanding and be like, okay, I understand your point. I understand. A lot of people in this world cannot help that they're being abused, okay? They don't know what's going on, and they don't understand why they should feel really, really scared for being something that they are that they can't help. Like, they're different, and, you know, they're really, really different, okay? So with that being said, depression is a battle, and I'll read the symptoms to you right here. So, chronic depression. So, we have the symptoms. So, chronic depression, the persistent feeling of sadness or loss of interest that characterizes major depression that can lead to a range of behavioral and psychological, physical symptoms. Sorry, my brother is texting me on the other line. Okay. And it could, depression, you know, you sad a lot. When you lose somebody, you know, you get depressed, right? But it's persistent, okay? Anxiety is when you shake and you can't, it's like you're shaking real bad, like me. When it storms, I get real anxiety about it. Bipolar's mood swings, and it's up and down. Dementia, people forget, which I don't have dementia, thank God, but it's people who forget things and all that. ADHD is when it's hyper, you're constantly hyper all the time. Schizophrenia is when you have hallucinations, like you see things and you hear things. Compulsive disorder, which I would just abbreviate it. OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD, where you have to have everything perfect, like you have to have a spotless house, clean house, or whatever. Post-traumatic stress disorder is when people have nightmares or issues, flashbacks about their past, which is what I have. I have nightmares and flashbacks about my past. Yes, I have severe ones. So at times I had to be put on medicine to get rid of my nightmares and everything, and it worked. I may have to get back on it again, but the point is, I'm trying to make, we all struggle with mental illness. And since today is Mental Health Awareness Day in my town, I'm the one who did a proclamation for it, and I'm proud of myself because I have come a long ways with my life. So now we're going to work on coping skills. So now that we know what they are, and now we know what the symptoms are, we're going to talk about coping skills. So coping skills for this type of thing is, what I do when I think about things that are bothering me, I use things called distraction. Like if you're thinking about something bad, like for instance, let's say, if you were in traumatic, like if you was in a really bad car wreck, which I'm not going to give my example, but if you was in a really bad car accident and you still have PTSD from it, okay, we get that, okay? So if you have, and I understand, I was in a real bad train wreck when I was a kid, so I know how you feel about severe car wrecks. So you're going to have flashbacks and nightmares about it, okay? We get that. So how you deal with that is how you train your mind to deal with it, okay? What you do is you can find ways to distract yourself. And distraction is a tool for when you need to be able to, like, if you're thinking about being in a car wreck and you're scared to death to drive again because you have that PTSD, you want to distract yourself. Not while you're driving, but to help you when you do drive. What can you do to help you? And if you're driving, these are very good tips too. We're going to do some without driving techniques, and we're going to do some with driving techniques. But you got to get over your fears of things, right? So what you can do when you drive, you have that panic attack again, do something like, well, I was scared to drive too when I had my license. I do have my license, and I'm scared to drive because of all the things I went through. But, you know, I had to do these things, and it worked. So when you drive in a car, you have to watch everything you're doing. But what you can do is when you're in a car, you can think to yourself, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. You know, that was then, this is now. It's going to be okay. How you overcome that fear of driving, again, is that you take yourself, if you get too panicky, pull over somewhere and remind yourself that you're going to be okay. Alright? Now, if you can find a safe place to pull over, go ahead and pull over. If you're getting overwhelmed with driving. So, it's hard when you're in a really bad car. Take it from me, I've been there, done that. And I know how you guys feel 100%. I really get it. Absolutely get that. Because, you know, I went through a lot too before I started driving. And I had to overcome my fears. And it was pretty scary. So, you know how I feel about that. Come on, let go. Stop. So, yeah. And it's not always easy to deal with that. So, whenever you get overwhelmed when you're driving in a car and you're scared to drive again because you was in a real bad car accident, then you sit there and you pull over. And you think to yourself, like, okay, that was then. I'm okay now. And I don't have to worry about it. It's not always going to be like that. And it's not always going to be, you know, bad driving experience. And it's going to be okay. You'll get through this. Okay? So, if you can't pull over, then you can turn on your radio real low, where you can still hear people, of course. You do not plug your earphones in when you're driving, because you're not supposed to. But just take a deep breath and turn your radio on just real quietly where you can hear it, but not loud enough where it distracts you when you're driving, but just loud enough where you can hear it. And then listen to your favorite music. That usually helps me too. So, like if you're on a highway and you can't pull over, and you get overwhelmed because you're scared of driving, then pull over. And I think there's a bad car wreck up there. I don't know, sounds like it. But then you can pull over for a little while and then deal with it. And it's okay. You're not alone in this, okay? Many people, like I said, there's music stars and people who have mental illness, they just don't want to own up to it. A lot of people just don't want to say nothing. And that's that stigma. So another coping skill that you can do when you're at home is deep breathing exercises. And I don't know who keeps doing this. But another coping exercise, and it's a great tool when you're by yourself and you're having problems with anxiety, and this is when you're at home, not when you're driving a car, okay, is that you can listen to music that same way in the car. But you can write a journal, which I, for one, type my journal up on my computer so nobody can read it, which I suggest you lock it up because people like to read stuff. But if you live alone, you can have it wherever you want. It don't matter. But I personally keep myself locked up because privacy. But, you know, I don't have nobody living with me. I don't. But it's always nice to have that security blanket. You know, to where if anybody does decide to go snooping in my stuff, then it's always locked up. And I don't have to worry about it. So if you want to get a computer, type in your stuff, that's fine. Just remember that if you live alone, you don't have to worry about it, such as myself. But I do like to have things locked up anyway, because you never know anything, like my family, my sister, my mom, or anybody comes up here to see me, then I have to keep everything locked up. because they snoop through my stuff all the time. Okay, so the thing about this is, another thing you can use as a coping skill is music. So, music is good for you. I said this before, but music, if you want to listen to your favorite song, you know, when you're having an episode, if you're having flashbacks or something, you want to play music, your favorite music, it's okay to play your music. If you're scared, do not play scary movies. That makes it worse. I know a lot of people who like scary movies. I don't know why, but if it triggers you, don't watch them. I do sometimes, but I don't watch them by myself. My boyfriend has to come over here with me and watch them. It's scary. But, so, mental health awareness. So, another thing is that you need to think about whenever you do something else is you need to, like, we covered music and we covered journaling. What about puzzles? Okay. Or any kind of arts and crafts, okay? It doesn't just have to be puzzles, guys. It could be any kinds of arts and crafts. If it works for you, do it. Okay? If you want to do puzzles, do puzzles. If you want to do drawings, do drawings. If you want to do paintings, do paintings. It don't matter. We're not here to say anything wrong. Whatever works for you in that area, do it. Okay? What matters to you, it doesn't matter. I heard someone say this before, and I'm going to use this term. It doesn't have to make sense to nobody else, but only you. If you want to draw polka dots everywhere and, you know, everything that you want, like, if you want to paint, I'm going to tell you something funny. I'm not a very good artist, okay? But if you want to go paint a bunch of dots everywhere and it makes you feel better, go right on ahead, okay? If it makes you feel better and it works for you as a coping skill, use it, okay? I do puzzles. This is my coping skill. As you can tell, I did this for a long time. And I've been working on this one for a couple of days. And this one's really cool. I didn't show you the picture, but we're not about doing puzzles today. We're not really wanting to show the puzzle today. We're just trying to show you coping skills. So, I'm not really going to do the puzzle today. We're not going to do a live today. We're just doing it like this. So, this helps you guys understand. Another coping skill is a distraction, is that you can play video games. Now, when you have a romantic episode and you're scared, get some video games, okay? And that helps you too. I play Assassin's Creed and Skyrim for a very important reason. If you get mad at people, you know what I mean. Because that's one good way to get your anger and frustration out on them games. And sometimes I play better when I'm mad. So, you know, there you go. As a tip for you. You can hurt people in a game, but you cannot in real life. So if you want to go after the video game, go right on ahead. You know, it's fine. The game will help you as a distraction. You know, it'll help you, like, if you're going through a bad day, play a game. You know, or whatever. You know. Another thing I found very effective is that drink some chamomile tea. You know, if you can't go to sleep and you have issues sleeping because your anxiety, because your mental illness, get some chamomile. Well, first of all, let me back up for a second. First, you need to do, if you have anxiety and you can't sleep, you go in there and you drink some chamomile tea. But before you do that, you go in there and you take a hot shower or bath, you know, whatever you want to do. It's up to you. You go in there and do that, and then put yourself in lavender, body wash, or bubble bath, or whatever, and you take a soak. And, you know, it's also good for pain as well. And you take a warm bath, and then you can go in there and just relax. And just, now I would not recommend lighting candles, but if you have a big bathroom where you can, then go ahead. I do not have a big bathroom, so I cannot do candles. If you have an animal, do not use candles, because they do like to sniff in the candles. So, But if you have room, you can light a candle and do all that. But only if you have the room, and if you don't have animals, go right on ahead, more power to you. But I don't. But I use candle warmers. And those work wonderful because they make my house smell good and it's relaxing. So, yeah. If you cannot use a real candle in your house or apartment or whatever, get you a flameless candle. A candle that is fake. And that works just as good. So, just so you know that you're safe, use a flameless one. And then you can watch that too. It's just as effective as a real candle. I know everybody wants to smell them. I love the smell of candles. Don't get me wrong. I love them. They smell good. But sometimes you got animals and you cannot have candles burning. So you have to do the next best thing, which is flameless candles. And they're battery operated. And then you can get the candle warmers and make it smell good. And that helps you with that. So there's always more ways to deal with things, right? So another thing that you can do with mental illness is you can go outside and exercise. And that's another distraction that you can use is exercise. Now, I had foot surgery not long ago, and I can't do very much right now until the doctor says, okay, you're okay, you can do it. Can't do that right now. But you can exercise. You don't have to exercise a lot. Overdo it one time, that's not going to work, okay? You just take your time. And whatever you want to do, you do it. And if you're having an episode, it's another thing, another tip that you can use. I know I'm not keeping count, which I should be keeping count. But there's another tip that you can use that will help you is watch your favorite movie. If you're upset and sad and depressed, watch a funny movie. And a comedy. It's funny watching these funny movies sometimes. One of them I like is Click. That comes to mind the first thing with Adam Sandler. That's the first thing that comes to my mind when I think about when I'm having an anxiety attack. You just sit there and watch a funny movie. And there's plenty of them out there to choose from. That'll make you laugh in about 5-10 minutes. It's a funny movie. But that's how you deal with your depression. If you're crying, if you're upset, watch a funny movie. There's a lot of movies by Adam Sandler that's funny. Have y'all ever seen all of his movies? Click, all that. No, they're funny, okay? I have to give them that. They're hilarious. 51st Dates and Paul Blart, the Mall Cop. Now that's funny too. Kindergarten Cop, if it's the holidays. But just find something that you like to watch, And another tip for when you're dealing with mental illness is, this is the last one I can come up with. I know there's so many different ways you can deal with it, and I would say take medicine. I know some people like me cannot take medicine, that's why I'm giving you these other tips, but medicine helps. I don't take medicine because it don't help me, but other people might need it. I don't know how y'all deal with your mental illness, but I'm just saying, there's a lot of people that don't need medicine that can manage it on their own. But if you have any episodes and you can't control them, don't be afraid to get help. There's plenty of people who will help you. And remember, guys, when you have a mental illness episode, you are not alone. Okay? And today is officially Mental Health Awareness Day in my town. I did not do this on live, but I wanted to do this off live today because I really don't feel good. But I want you guys to know that you're not alone when it comes to mental illness. And another thing that you can do when you're having an episode is hang out with your friends that cheer you up. If you have friends that make you happy, hang out with them. Try to stay positive, because remember, everybody's going through a lot, and everybody has it rough. How we deal with every day is up to us. Whether we make a difference or not, everything's up to us. So we have to make it count. Each day has to count. We're not promised tomorrow. We're not promised the next day. We have to make each day count. And each day, you should aim to be better than you was yesterday. I don't say I'm better than anybody else, but here's what I say in my statements. I try to be better than I was yesterday. I try to be better than myself as I was yesterday, okay? And I want to prove to myself a lot of things. And I want to do things with my life that I never thought I could do. And, you know, this YouTube channel is very important to me. And I really do love my fans, and I appreciate you guys. But, I just want you guys to know that if you have any questions about mental health, mental illness, feel free to give me a comment, ask me a question, or try to answer them in my next video on live, okay? But I just wanted to get that out, that in closing, everybody has a hard life. You're not exempt. And we all lost someone that we loved. We all have faced a lot of things that we didn't want to go through. And we all have gone through a lot in our life. We're not better or worse than anybody else. But the only reason why you went through it is because God knew that you can handle it. He would never put more on you than you can handle. So don't think that you can't handle it because you're strong enough to handle that. Alright? And if he didn't think you can handle it, he would not be putting it on you. Alright? So, remember, if you're struggling with mental illness, you know, these coping skills will help. And I'll try to do more research and do more videos if you guys want me to. Leave me a comment and say, do you want me to do more research on mental health if you guys want me to help you? Because there's a lot more about that, you know, a lot more about mental illness that I can tell you. Because like I said, I was a disability advocate, and I want to help many people with it that struggle, okay? So if you guys want me to do this again, give me a like. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, because I got a lot more stuff that I want to share with you guys. And hopefully this little bit helps you. And if you want me to do another video, let me know about mental illness part 2, okay? We'll do a part 2 if I get enough likes. If I can get 1,000 likes in this video, hey, we'll do a part 2, okay? So let me know what you want me to do about mental health. If y'all want to know anything, if y'all have any questions, concerns, comments, or anything about mental health, leave me a comment and I'll try to answer it in my next video. And I'll do some more research for you guys if that's what you want me to do. Okay? Alright. 1,000 likes. We will do another video if y'all want me to. It's up to you. If y'all want me to do part 2, 1,000 likes. That's all I ask. Alright. Talk to you guys later. And remember, you are loved. Alright. Bye.